Cambridge AS Computer Science, Chapter 7, Ethics and Ownership. What is meant by ethics? Ethics are codes of behavior and interactions between colleagues in their work. This is what is meant by ethics. Ownership refers to intellectual properties because we are doing computer science, possibly your product would be creating software. These programs should be owned and protected by copyrights by their creators. Others may not copy it without permission. There are many license types issued by owners. Some license types are called open source. Some license types include shareware. So a shareware is a program that you can use for free for a trial period for 1 month, for example, and then you have to pay for it. And they do this for marketing. They allow it for 1 month for free to gain more customers. The last thing in this chapter that is not mentioned in the title, that is artificial intelligence. This chapter talks about artificial intelligence. Okay, so let us start this chapter and study all these topics in details, including the new topic called artificial intelligence, AI. Okay, so what is ethics? Ethics are rules of conduct. Because you are doing computer science, they expect that you will be a computer programmer, a software developer, work in a company, and your final product probably will be a piece of program. Okay, so they teach you about ethics. Ethics are the rules of conduct recognized in a particular profession. So you have a profession, for example, you are a programmer. So these are the rules of conduct you should know and you should follow. And in the exam, they give you a situation and ask you to decide whether or not this is an ethical situation or unethical situation. Okay? So it is ethics are the rule of conduct recognized in a particular profession or area of human life, as it is a system of moral principles that guide behavior and decision making. Okay, so let us look at these guidelines. They want you to be a good and fair and dedicated engineer or software developer. The ACM IEEE Software Engineering Code of Ethics. They are teaching you software engineering code of ethics because we are doing computer science. And the ACM and IEEE are two reputable organizations in the US that put standards for programmers and for engineers. Okay, so the code define 8 principles. For each principle, there is one sentence definition. Codes of ethic. When you work, you have to act to the best benefit of the public. Okay? So you're working and your product must be to the best benefit of the public. Okay? Also, you must work to the best benefit of your client. So you do a software that is best for the client. You do software that is best for the public. For example, you may not develop harmful products that harm the public. And also your client, because your client is paying for the product you are producing and partially paying for your salary. So you have to act to the best interest of your client. Also, you should work to the best interest of your employer, your manager, the business owner. You shall work to the best of his benefit. You shall also work to the best of the product. It is like you are being idealistic in everything. You are so ideal, you are so much a role model, and you act in the best way to the benefit of the public, the client, the employer, who is your manager, the product itself. You work, you dedicate yourself in producing a very good quality product also, and judgment. When, for example, you are a manager and you need to judge on situations or make decisions or judge between employees, you have to do this in a very fair way. You cannot do this to the benefit of yourself. You have to do this to the benefit of your colleagues and the benefit of so you have to be idealistic, and that's it. So you have to give the correct judgment. Okay. So also you have to be a good management. You have to give good management. You have to be a good manager. So you act to the best of the management. You act to the best of the profession. For example, you are a programmer and you'd like to have a very good reputation for that programming business. So you act to the best of the profession. You act to the best of your colleagues. You also should benefit your colleagues. And the last thing, you shall act to the best of yourself. How you act to the best of yourself? Do not skip opportunities to further develop your skills. Do not miss opportunities to learn new technologies, to learn new skills, to attend the training, seminars, attend workshops. We call this professional development. Okay, so these are the 8 principles of ethic. Okay, so software engineer shall participate in lifelong learning regarding the practice of the profession. Colleagues, software engineer shall be fair to and supportive of their colleague. Profession, software engineer shall advance the integrity and reputation of the profession. Management, team leaders should promote an ethical approach to the management of software development. Judgment, maintain integrity and independence in their professional judgment. Product, software, and related modifications meet the highest possible standard. Employer, act to the best interest of the employer. Client, act in the best interest of the client. Even the public, act consistently in the public interest. Okay, so these are the 8 principles. Okay, these are the 8 principles of software engineering code of conduct. Okay, you can read them again. They are here. They can read the 8 principle. Public software engineer shall act consistently with the public interest. Client and employer. Here they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here I have 9 categories. Here they are only 8. Stick to this. Stick to this. Maybe this is a diagram I got from a textbook or a past paper or so. So stick to this, because here client and employer are both in one topic. Okay, software engineer shall act in a manner that is the best interest to their client and their employer, consistent with the public interest. Okay, so you have to be so much dedicated such that you act to the benefit of all these, even acting to the benefit of your own self, because you will attend trainings and further develop your skills and promote your career. Okay, so please study these. They are just written and explained. Okay, what is the public good? When the question of public good arises, consideration shall be related to the second definition. The different parts of code is referred to: health, safety, and welfare of the public interest, the public good, the public concern. Okay? So when the question of public good arises, refer to the following: health, safety, welfare of the public interest, public good, public concern. Okay, let us look at, this is an exam question, and let us look at how they give you a situation and ask you to decide whether or not this is ethical or unethical. Gives away passwords use in the intruder detection software, this is unethical. Use source code developed at the company house for the software he develops for his own company, this is unethical. Okay, insist that the staff should work to deadlines, why not? This is ethical. Turns down training opportunities offered by his employer, this is unethical because he's not acting to the best of his own self. Okay, writes and sells software that reads confidential data from client computers, this is unethical. Fakes test results for safety critical software, this is unethical. Has the software applications developed overseas for sale in his own company, no problem with this, this is ethical. Okay, so this is the topic about ethics. And you have loads of questions in the past paper giving you different scenarios and asking you to decide whether or not this is ethical or unethical. Okay, let us talk about then ownership and copyright. When you invent a piece of program, you are the owner of that piece of program. Okay, this is difficult to manage because this is called intellectual property. If it is something touchable, for example, a car or so you are the owner. But this is an idea, or this is a program, this is a picture. So you have the ownership of this, and people shall respect this ownership. There should be some laws to enforce this ownership, to protect this ownership. They call it copyright laws. And when you want to sell your program, you give others license to use your program. You do not give them the ownership of your program. The program remains yours. However, you give them a license, a permission to use it. There are many types of license. We have software licensing, we have commercial software. Commercial software is a software that you may only use when you pay its price. So this is commercial software. You pay for it before you use it. What is the benefit of this? You earn a lot of money from selling that software. And you can spend that money on your employees and software developers. And you can spend that money on making very good and high quality products and programs. Okay, so this is commercial software. You may only use it when you pay for it. There is another kind of license called shareware licensing. What is shareware? The owner of the software is giving you 30 days free trial. Why he is doing this? He thinks that this will make him better profit. He thinks this is a good way for marketing his software. So he is giving it to others 30 days for free. First, others may like your product, or at least others will try it for 30 days, and they are very sure that it really fits their needs before they pay for it. So this is for marketing. Free shareware licensing is for marketing. Okay, so we have first commercial software that you may only use when you pay its fees. Yeah, it is like this. No trial period. Okay, and also you have shareware licensing with 30 days or 7 days or 3 days trial period. During that period, maybe not all the features of the software is available to customers. It is just a free trial period. Or after that, you have to pay the full fee of the product, and then it becomes a commercial software. Okay, but because you are creating programs, when you sell the program, you sell the program in the form of binary files. You sell the executable file. You never give others your source code. You never give others how you created this program. This is applicable in commercial software and shareware software and also freeware software. Freeware software is another kind of license that you allow users to use your program totally for free, entirely for all the time. Okay? So you may give them freeware license. They can use the software as much as they wish. And of course, without giving them the source code. You are not giving them the source code. Okay? Why would you give them a license to use the software for free? Some applications you want it to be for free. For example, Facebook application. You want it to be for free. They just download it from the Play Store and use it. And you earn money from other things, from advertisement and from having a very big community like the Facebook. Okay, so you can earn by giving people freeware license. Okay, so what are the types of license so far? We have commercial software, you pay for it and then you use. You have shareware, you can use it for 30 days for free or so, and then you pay for it to continue using. And you have freeware that is available for using for free entirely from the first day. And for all these three types of license, you never give the source code. You only give the object code or the machine code or the executable. They don't have access to your source code. Otherwise, they will learn your ideas. They may modify the software or copy the ideas in it. Okay, the last kind of licensing is called open source or free licensing. With this kind of license, you give others your source code. They will study your code and modify it. Okay, you agree to this. They may change your code, your program, and redistribute it. Okay, you don't mind. This is called open source. With open source, you give your clients, your customers, or your friends or colleagues the source code. This promotes further development of programs because you provide your program open source, others provide their program open source, and then everyone can study ideas from others. There is something called Open Source Initiative, Free Software Foundation, and Open Source Initiative. They promote making your software open source. You may decide if you would like to make your code open source or not. It's up to you. Maybe for some programs, they say, okay, we will make it open source. And then this program becomes very public, very popular. Okay. And then it becomes the standard. Like, let me give you example. Everyone is using music compressed in MP3 format. Everyone is using it. You know why? Because it is open source. Everyone can use it for free. So it became the industry standard. It became so popular. Okay, so there is something called open source. However, with freeware, you never give the source code. With shareware, you never give the source code. With commercial software, you never give the source code. Okay, study these so that you can answer exam questions correctly. Okay, so what else? Nothing. Let us study all the details in those licensing types, and then we move to the last part of the chapter, that is artificial intelligence. Okay, so software license. Let us get into the details because they ask you about benefits and drawbacks and some discussions. Commercial software has to be paid for, but there are number of different options that might be available. A fee is paid for each individual copy of the software. A company may have the option to buy a site license, so you license your whole company or your whole university or your whole school. Special rates for educational use. Earlier version or limited versions may be offered for free. Okay, so commercial license has to be paid for. Properties of commercial software. The software is purchased with a license which restricts the number of users. The program code of the software cannot be edited. You don't have access to the source code. Advantages, support, and training is available. When you buy a product from Microsoft, for example, and you pay for it, you get lots of support. Support and training is readily available, so help can be accessed if needed. More robust software and fewer bugs. You earn a lot of money, you spend a lot of money on developing the software becomes very good quality. Okay? Forums and user groups will exist. Software upgrades will be available. Compatibility is built in for other commercial software. Okay, please notice that I have copied these from Mark Schemes. Okay, so these are the kind of questions that discuss this topic, commercial software. Okay, next, free shareware licensing. Okay, shareware is commercial software that is made available on a trial basis. So eventually you will pay for it, but for marketing, they leave it 30 days for free. It might be limited version or full package. During that 30 days, it may be limited or full package or free to use for a trial period. Shareware means software free for use for limited period and no source code. Shareware users get a free trial of software, which may be limited in feature, no access to source code, and the program cannot be edited. They have to pay after the expiry date to get full functionality. Okay? Benefits to the customers of using shareware, they can check if it works and check if it meets the requirement without having to pay a fee if it does not. This is so useful. You ensure that the software will benefit you before you pay for it. Okay? Next, freeware is always for free without access to the source code. And I have plenty of programs, like for example, Adobe. Adobe Reader is for free. Many Firefox browser, Google Chrome is for free. They benefit because they make Google Chrome very popular, and then Google Chrome directs you to other paid services offered by Google. Okay, they know their business and they benefit for this. Okay, so I have a picture here of so many freeware. So freeware software is free with unlimited use, allowed but no source code provided. This software is distributed for free, but without the source code. Let us, for example, we are using the application of Zoom for free. But if you want to pay for hosting large number of participants, you pay a subscription. But the software for all other participants, the host will pay, and all other participants, they get the application for free. So this is an example of freeware. The last thing to say about this topic is open source and or free licensing. Okay? So please notice this is freeware and this is free licensing. Okay? So open source make it really clear that you make your source code available to customers. Why you would do this? To promote collaboration, to make the software. You just give it for free. You just give it. It may be for a fee, and I'll allow them to access your source code for a fee, or it may be for free. But with open source, you allow customers access to the source code. They are allowed to study it, they are allowed to modify it, they are allowed to redistribute it. Open source software means software is free with unlimited use allowed and allowed and access to source code. Okay, so open source means it may be free or not free. They change their questions. So it may be free or not free, or it may be paid. The Free Software Foundation, an open source initiative, make open source software, including the source software, available for free. They said, let us promote software programming. The aim is for collaborative development of the software to take place. The user of the software is free to use it, modify it, copy it, or redistribute it according to need. So these are exam questions. Open source, the source code is released with the program. User can edit the source code to suit their needs. The users re-release, they may redistribute their version under the same terms, can be cost-free, but may also be paid. So it is not always for free, as mentioned here. Okay? Types of software license that allow users to edit, improve, and redistribute the program: open source initiative and Free Software Foundation. Okay, let us look at these. Example, software is purchased before it can be used. This is commercial software. Source code comes with the software. This is open source. Software is provided free on a trial basis. This is shareware. Software can be modified by the user. Again, this is open source. Okay, look at these exam questions. This is how the topic is discussed in exams. Okay, methods to stop copying and changing software illegally, because nobody is respecting this. Okay, encryption of the executable code. Assign a unique code so it will not install without the product key. Limit the number of times that version of the software can be installed. Set a time limit within which the software must be installed. These are programming tools programmers put in their code to make customers pay. Because if you don't enforce them to pay, they will not respect the copyright laws. Okay, let us look again at this example. The user can edit the source code. This is Free Software Foundation, open source initiative. Okay. The user must always pay before being able to use the software. This is commercial software. The user can redistribute the software. This is Free Software Foundation, open source initiative, and also shareware. Because they can give it to others, again, they can use it for 30 days trial. The user always get a trial period. This is also shareware. Okay, so that's all about ownership. The last thing to say here is artificial intelligence. Okay, let us study about ideas in artificial intelligence. This is a new topic introduced in 2021 in the syllabus. Artificial intelligence concerns with the use of computer or computer control device to perform tasks manually associated with intelligent behavior by humans. So a robot that improves itself. This has artificial intelligence. A computer that can provide advice. This has artificial intelligence. Because these are the characteristics of human being. Machine learning, the computer can learn, okay, can give advice. We call this expert systems. Okay, There are many uses and applications of artificial intelligence. We will consider 5 aspects of intelligent human behavior and discuss some applications of artificial intelligence that mimic this human behavior. Problem solving. Human can solve problems. Linguistics, talking in language and translation. Like, for example, now you have a dialogue-based interface where you talk to a computer. So the computer has to be able to understand linguistics, and this requires artificial intelligence. Perception, see and decide things around you. A robot walking on its own has to be able to see and analyze its environment. So perception is the human can see around him. If the computer can see around it, then it has artificial intelligence. Reasoning, giving you an advice and giving you reasons why it reached that advice. And the last thing is machine learning. If the software or the machine can improve itself independently, then it has artificial intelligence, because one aspect of artificial intelligence is machine learning. Okay? Let us go through all these examples. Some of these is copied from the textbook, and others are copied from the past paper. Let us discuss, because this is the only things we have at hand. Okay, so problem solving. One example is the development of a system that can play chess. A second example is the traditional form of expert system. The expert system can give medical advice, okay, to aid medical diagnosis, supplied with data and rules. You know, the expert system has facts and rules. And also, to play chess against a computer, the expert system has facts and rules about the game. Okay? The expert system contains more knowledge that is possible for an individual. It is a machine, so you can load it with more knowledge. Human may forget. If the system is given, however, if the system is given a new situation not covered by the data, it cannot attempt a new creative approach unlike a human. So problem solving is about expert systems, about playing chess games, about giving medical diagnosis. You have knowledge base and rule base. However, it cannot deal with new situations. Linguistics, voice recognition. Now we talk to machines, and machines understand our verbal commands and also give verbal results, output. Linguistics, voice recognition, and voice synthesis techniques are already developed and in use. One example, if you phone a helpline, you might be answered by a computer. Provided that you answer questions clearly, the computer might be able to identify your needs and pass you on to the appropriate human who can help. However, this is a long way from computer self creating new questions based on answer and provide the help you need. Okay, so this is the use of artificial intelligence in linguistics. Let us look at this example. Definitely the example is copied from the past paper. And for these new topics, I just copy everything from past paper and put in my notes, because there aren't much questions about this. Example, one section of the program being developed will convert user speech into commands. Artificial intelligence can be used in this program. Okay, so the question was asking you how artificial intelligence can be used in this question. The answer was speech recognition, identify key phrases or words spoken. So when you speak to the computer, to the microphone will record your command, and then the artificial intelligence will try to identify key phrases or words spoken and matches these to a database and generate the most likely sentence, command, or word. Okay, so this is about maybe this is about voice synthesis. Okay. Okay, so this is about linguistics, and that was an example for an exam. Perception, the computer can see and analyze the surrounding. There are now much research focused on the development of autonomous robots. A robot that can walk on its own, do a task on its own, so it has to see its surrounding. And for example, if there is an obstacle, it must avoid hitting that obstacle. These have to be fitted with sensors. You have a camera and sensors. Cars now have sensors, radar sensors, to enable the robot to take appropriate action depending on the information received from the sensor. This is an example of perception in artificial intelligence. This is what is meant by perception. We also have driverless cars. We call it autonomous cars. There are several examples available for the development so far. How nowadays autonomous cars can only perform limited tasks. Okay, for example, it can self-park. Okay, in a vacant parking space. Example, the mobile phone has built-in digital camera to recognize the video. The digital camera automatically focuses on the faces of people. Artificial intelligence is used by the camera to automatically focus on the face of people. Okay, so we would like to use artificial intelligence. Okay, so that the computer adjusts the focus. Okay, automatically focus on the faces of people. Okay, how this can be done? The system will scan the scene in real time, identifies if there are faces in the image using image recognition for facial recognition, takes each frame individually and analyzes the pixels and store patterns for a face, look for patterns of faces and come close to the pattern for a face. The camera focus on the pattern identified. So this is how artificial intelligence can be used to focus, automatically focus on faces in a scene. Another example, CCTV camera. This is security camera. Uses artificial intelligence to identify the presence of a person in the house and to track their movement. Okay, how artificial intelligence is used to do this? Use image recognition, monitors every image taken to identify matching images, shapes, or features to a person and start recording to secondary storage. So if the computer recognizes the presence of a person, it starts recording to a secondary storage when a person is identified. The system identifies direction of movement, to what direction that human is moving, and use this to decide where and how to move the camera. The camera is even moving and tracking him. Identify other cameras, system identify other cameras to start recording based on the direction. So the system may ask another camera if he's moving from the region of one camera coverage to another camera coverage area, the system will start recording on that other camera based on his direction of moving. Okay? So these are two examples about perception. Reasoning. There are examples of application of AI where a program has been able to draw inference. Inference means include conclusions. Reach conclusion based on evidence, which is required for reasoning. For best example, proving a mathematical theorem. A computer can prove a mathematical theorem for you. Attempts have also been to develop technique that verify that the software does not indeed correctly and fully match the document specification. So you can use artificial intelligence to test that the software is working as specified. The last thing to discuss here about artificial intelligence is machine learning. This is currently a very active area of application of AI. Machine learning is said to take place if the system has a task to perform, is seen to improve its performance. If a system can improve its performance on its own in doing tasks, we can say that this is gaining experience. The AI system has access to experience in the form of massive sets of data by use of appropriate statistical algorithm, so it can do a task and see how long it takes, and do the same task and see how long it takes, and do it differently, and try all different ways of doing the task and picking up the one that uses less time. One example, when the action of visiting websites to buy products. They study your behavior and offer you advertise that meet your interest. The system will be learning from, and the system is improving. And the evidence of this is that more people are buying products from this website. One example is when the action of user visiting websites to buy products are stored. The AI system attempts to identify appropriate product to be advertised when a user returns. If sales progressively increase, this is evidence that learning is taking place. Another example is to study incoming emails and to decide which of these emails are spam emails. Example, machines can learn from past problems and mistakes. They can adapt to stop the same problem occurring again. They can learn to predict what may happen and raise an alert. Machines can learn how to work more efficiently. When an action slows down the system, it can prevent this happening. When an action increases the speed of the system, it can repeat this when necessary, when possible. So this is an example about machine learning. All these are copied from past paper. It is like we have studied all the past papers available related to this topic. A team is developing a computer game where the user plays a board game such as a chess against the computer. So you are learning how you are playing chess against the computer. How the computer can learn chess. Such a game requires a lot of intelligence. Okay, the rules of the game, past movements, and decisions making algorithm of the game will be stored. So we have the rules of the game stored, past movements stored, and a decision making algorithm. The AI program is trained by playing many times. AI will look ahead at possible moves and analyze the pattern of past choices and choose the move most likely to be successful. Okay, the AI can look ahead. What are the consequences of that move? The computer can learn how to improve and learn from previous mistakes by storing the positive and negative results of choices and changing its future choices. So playing chess game is a very good example of machine learning, which is part of artificial intelligence. Applications of artificial intelligence. Police identifying wanted people, use image recognition. So this is an exam question that talks about all the previous things. So what are the applications of artificial intelligence? Police identifying wanted people use image recognition to identify features, characteristics, or items of an image. Okay, how artificial intelligence could be used in natural language interface. Use speech recognition to identify words that are spoken and adapts to learn regional accent. Okay, even it can adapt itself to the regional accent. Okay, self-driven car detects its position on the road and within the traffic, follows a route, collision avoidance, and self-parking. Spoken interface use natural language processing to take a sentence and work out its meaning. Playing games model characteristic in a computer game and allow computer characters to interact. Okay, the last thing to say is the impact of AI. AI is making people lose lots of jobs because many of the jobs used to be done by human can now be done by machines, and machines do not take salaries, don't have families. The use of the internet dominates the lives of the large portion of the world's population. Global organizations provide the system underpinning their user activity are collecting massive amount of data. Because of the internet, because you put all your life details on the internet, some companies are collecting massive data about you. If this data is only be used to enable organization to increase its profit, this can be normal business. However, if data is not securely stored, this could be in the wrong hand, can be used for criminal activities. Okay, there are different concerns with the respect of the introduction of autonomous machines, such as robots, robotic device, driverless vehicles in our life. Technology lead to employment of more people to manufacture. However, technology lead to less manual labor, increased leisure time. One counter argument is that fewer jobs because machines are doing the work. Okay? Such a development simply make the rich people and the rich people become richer and poor people become poorer. We call this the digital divide. Because you are rich, you can afford expensive technology, and the use of this expensive technology will let you earn more. And poor people cannot afford expensive technology, and they are left behind. The environmental impact. So this topic is about impact of AI. Environmental impact, consuming raw materials, and also scrap, the waste, technology waste. The use of improved expert system to aid practicing doctor and nursing is clearly a benefit. If this system can come to replace the doctor, a nurse, the social sequences are difficult to predict. This is copied from the textbook. So learn this discussion so that if you get an exam question, you know how to argue. Okay, that was an exam question. One use of artificial intelligence is for facial recognition. There are many social impacts of using facial recognition software to identify individual in airport. Okay, incorrect recognition of faces lead to mistakes, such as access to facilities or systems may be denied. So you want to enter a place and the face recognition could fail to recognize your face, so you are denied access. Privacy issues, because you have your picture recorded on many computer systems, this is clear invasion of people's privacy. Privacy issues, as people do not like data being stored. However, individuals will feel safer as there might be a reduction in crime and catching criminals and faster boarding in airports. Okay, so that was a discussion about AI, different topics of AI, and the impact of AI. Study these and learn all exam questions so that you can argue and answer final exam. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Let us look at some past paper questions. Please go to page 323. This question is from 21 November, paper 1-1. Francis is starting his first job as a software developer for a multinational company. Francis has been advised to join a professional ethical body. Describe the benefits of joining a professional ethical body. What are the benefits? He has ethical guidelines to follow, so clients, other staff know the standards being applied. So he does not have to decide what is ethical as it is written down. So he has guidelines on what is ethical and what is unethical, because he was advised to join a professional ethical body. Client staff know he is reputable. Recognition of his skills and knowledge. There may be test requirement for entry. This provide help and support, for example, if he needs legal advice. They run training course to keep his skills up to date. So it is advised that he joins a professional ethical body. Francis is shown the software he will work on. He is unfamiliar with the integrated development environment IDE. So he will use programs, but he doesn't know how to know the IDE. Describe the ways he can act ethically in this situation. He is assigned a new jobs and he doesn't know how to use the program. The best thing to do is he can tell the manager he has not used it. This is ethical. And he will get up to date. He can perform his own research to know how to use it. He can explain to the manager that he needs additional training. He can ask the manager to book on a training course. He can ask the mentor to shadow someone. Someone will help him. He can participate at home before starting. These are all ethical solutions to the situation that he is given a piece of software he doesn't know how to use. The typical IDE provide debugging tools. See, we are moving out of the scope of this chapter now, because there are debugging tools. This is programming. The typical IDE provide debugging tool to support testing of programs. 3 other tools, the IDE to support the writing of program. Questions are mixed now. We are about to finish the syllabus. The IDE provides color coding and pretty printing, autocomplete, autocorrect, context-sensitive prompts, expand and collapse codes. Okay? The last question. No, there are so many questions about this. Okay? The last question. Francis is part of a team writing a program. He finds an error in part of the program that he has already tested. He decided not to tell anyone because he's worried about the consequence. Explain the reason why Francis acted unethically in this situation. He did not act in the best interest of the product because the product may fail because he did not report the error. He did not act in best interest of the client because if the product does not work, then they have been let down because they did not report the error. He didn't act to the best interest of the profession. He is letting his profession down because he didn't report the error. He didn't act to the best interest of the company. Not correcting the error early could lead to later problems. Okay, so that was a question about ethics. Okay, next, the chapter discusses, there are so many examples about ethical behavior and non-ethical behavior, as you can see. Please go through them all. Okay, then the questions about commercial licensing, shareware licensing, open source. And the last thing in the chapter is the impact of AI. One application of artificial intelligence, social impact of using AI to identify individual in the airport. Application of artificial, I think the answer to this question is here in my notes. I know that I copied everything. I copied everything related to the AI, except maybe the most recent questions. We will do this in the revision. Why some programs are distributed under open source license. How programmers benefit from distributing a program under a commercial license. One economic impact of AI module on the garage. Okay, I will leave all this for you to study and complete your study about this chapter. Thank you very much for your attention.